Memory is a pain. And as you get older, we tend to feel that our memory is getting worse. One of the students that I use on the course, who is in the audio lessons that you'll hear if you listen to the first hour or if you join up and become a member, one of the students said to me, "I'm a woman of a certain age with the memory issues that come along with it." Now, those are her words. Now, I know that my memory has gone downhill for lots of things, as I'm nearly 50 now. So I regularly forget plans that we've made, where my keys are, the usual, the standard stuff. But funnily enough, the really important things, and check out the video on memory and why we think about it wrong, those things I don't have to recall. I know what my name is, what my family's names are, I know my address, I know my phone number, I know maybe some of us don't know our phone numbers, but there are things that I don't have to think about. I don't have to struggle to recall them. They're so well ingrained. And I talk a lot about those pathways in our brain that are strengthened through use. So repetition is key here. Memory shouldn't be a problem. However, we will forget words, and that is fine. It's normal. It's not something we need to panic about. Now, if you're cramming lists of words, it's going to be very, very hard to remember them, because you need to be using these words in context, or at least understanding the types of words that you're using. Now, I go into this a lot in the course, but there are lots of groups of words, and you'll find online whole courses dedicated to advertising the fact that you can learn thousands of words very easily and very quickly. I totally subscribe to that. That's amazing. Yes, you can. And I teach you how to do that in the course. There are words that have letters at the end. For example, I'll give you a quick one. T-I-O-N words. Words that end in T-I-O-N, like information. In Spanish, there are over 1,000 words that end in C-I-O-N, and most of them are virtually identical to the English ones, except that they end C-I-O-N at the end with a little accent over the O. All of these things I go into. It takes minutes to explain, and it gives you access to hundreds of words. So technically, those hundreds of words, most of them you already know. If you know them in English, you're almost guaranteed, with a few exceptions, that you'll be able to say it in Spanish. Now that takes the burden off your memory. Your brain doesn't store everything immediately. It drops information, and then if it sees it again, it remembers where it went, strengthens that pathway in your brain. So we do need to revisit things, but we're going to do it in a way that is comfortable. And there will always be things that drop off, but that's fine. If we've got the language skills to be able to speak around the problem or say something a different way or ask for help, that's where we've got the toolkit that we need. So we've got to stop expecting perfection. I talk a lot about making mistakes and about how important that is. It really is important to make mistakes. If you understand that you're going to forget things and that that's normal, then maybe you can relax a little bit. So if you feel as though you keep forgetting things, it means that maybe you're not being exposed to those things in the right way. And maybe you're being forced to think about them in a way that's too complicated or doesn't work well for you. All of us learn a language naturally without writing anything down. And I know we're young and supposedly our brains are sponges, but we have the same capacity to learn now. What we tend to do is overcomplicate things. And I talk in my video about why I don't like grammar. There are unnecessary levels of complication that we put on top of language. But it will take you time. It might take you longer than when you were a child to learn the second language, to learn Spanish, but you've got time and you can enjoy the process. You can enjoy every little step along the way, hopefully with some fantastic holidays and chats with new friends and family members. It depends on your situation, but you've got the time to enjoy this journey. Remember, you do not need to remember every single word. There are little phrases and things that will get us out of jail for free, and we remember those phrases to move us along. Your motivation will grow when you realize that forgetting is not a step backwards. It's just a very important step forwards, and it's part of the process. You will forget, you will make mistakes. That's great. Celebrate it, have fun, and don't worry,